Hey, thanks for coming back to the channel. And I appreciate those who are new and hope you have subscribed. Um, this thought has been bouncing around in my head for maybe 2, 3 months. And I haven't, and it started um, when the Black Lives Matter mantra started getting some traction out there. So maybe it was around April, May, I think. And it caused me to think about, really, you know, do Black Lives Matter? And the answer is no. As a matter of fact, no lives matter at the end of the day. And that's kind of what I wanted to process here with you all. First, let's come back to the Black Lives Matter scenario. Um, being a black guy myself, yes, surprise to a lot of you, but that's how it rolls. Unfortunately, as I said before, uh, too black for some and not black enough for others, right? Yeah, it sucks to be me. If I'm down in the South, if I'm down in the South, especially New Orleans, Louisiana, and place like that, I would be referred to as high yellow. Yeah, so y'all process that. And some of you young white folks have probably never heard that term before, but it's a real thing. So let's come back to this idea of Black Lives Matter. First, I take it to, well, okay, um, all lives matter. So let's go there. Let's say that all lives matter, which is lie number one. All lives matter, because all lives don't. Some lives matter more than others, and it depends on the circumstance. Because if it was true, if we as humans really subscribe to the notion that all lives matter, we would never have war. We would never have murder. We would never have one human taking the life of another human, because all lives would matter. The fact is, some lives matter more than others. Obviously, the life of the enemy doesn't matter at all until they get to the point where they have become humanized. And you see all kinds of movies about the discovery of each other, the one enemy and the other enemy, they become friends and blah, blah. Bullshit. The enemy's life and the enemy's family's life means nothing. Zero. What about the other? The other are those people that you, for whatever you are, have decided are not worth anything, for whatever criteria you choose to use. And so their lives don't matter as much as all lives. They don't. They can't, because they are the other. Let's talk about Black lives in especially in the Western Hemisphere, because that's my frame of reference, and that's where I'm going with this. Black lives have never mattered, ever, ever, especially in the history of the United States. I can't speak to other countries, but in certainly the Caribbean. Black lives don't matter and have never mattered and will never matter. I don't care how many signs you put up. I don't care how many bullshit things you get white people to wear on their face, hold up a sign. That's nothing but guilt. That's nothing but forcing guilt on them. And my point is, Black lives will never matter, so y'all need to get over it. We need to get over that. Because there is nothing to be done to make Black lives matter, or to make any other lives matter. Let's go to the women's right to choose, or the abortion issue. There are those that say that the unborn life matters, and then there's the argument that says the unborn doesn't even have a life. And so you get into that argument, right? All lives don't matter. Some lives matter more than others. So let's talk about blue lives matter. Blue lives matter. That's in the category of choosing whose life you want to matter. Now, if you have friends or acquaintances or family members who are part of the thin blue line, certainly you will say blue lives matter. Certainly you will say that. And then it would be translated on blue lives matter, because as soon as you say the blah blah lives matter, you are saying that life matters more than any other. You have now made a choice. Blue lives matter more than any other. Certainly more than black lives, right? Because black lives have never mattered in this country, right? So blue lives matter. What about red lives matter? Firefighters and EMTs, and of course they do. What about the sick, right? I don't know about you, but I've been to several trauma classes. Battlefield trauma, accident trauma, sucking chest wound, bad stuff, trauma training. One of the things that you are taught is the idea of triage. And triage says you're going to treat the people who have the highest chance of surviving to get them out of the way and get them going, right? I personally just had that experience. Had to go to the hospital for a thing, and I tested positive for the beer virus. And the first thing they told me is, one, there's no treatment for it, so we're getting you out of here as soon as possible because that's not why you came in here. See, that's triage. And I was totally cool with that. I said, cool, all right, But triage means somebody is not going to make the trip. Somebody is going to get the black armband and they're going to get the morphine drip, and they're the ones that are not going to make it. Their lives don't matter as much as the green armband people. They cannot, because you cannot put resources into people who are known to going to die at the expense of those who you know can be saved. By the way, that is the primary political issue surrounding all of this funny business around the beer virus, right? Because no politician wants to stand up and say, one, yes, it's real. No, there's no cure. No, there's no treatment. And a lot of people are going to die and there's nothing we can do about it. Nobody wants to say that, even though it is true. So when it comes to the beer virus and all the silliness that we've been forced through for the last almost a year, we have to ask, whose lives matter now? The people who have been forced to have their lives destroyed because of a person who is almost known to going to die because there's no treatment, no vaccine, no whatever. But the effort is, we want, and this is the sucky part, the people who are known to going to live, that's 98% of everyone who's going to get the beer virus, and that's everyone, by the way. Those people must suffer because the others are going to die. That is the most brain dead position to take, right? Now, I don't know if you know this, but in a hospital, if you go into the hospital and you are positive for this virus and you end up in ICU or worse, where they're putting you on a ventilator, you are going to die. You are going to die. And what happens then is the healthcare workers call your family and tell them you are going to die, and no, they cannot visit you. So you will die alone. And that is one of the things that's tearing up the healthcare workers because of the compassion that they have. That's their nature. and they can't be with the dying because of the protocols. They would violate the protocols. So they watch. They know the people that get to that level, and they know who they are when they come in. They know who they are when they come in the door. They know they're going to die, right? So whose lives matter? The hundreds of millions whose lives have been destroyed, disrupted, so that you can suffer. Read that as, we're in this together. We're in this together because all lives matter. Bullshit flag out. All lives do not matter. The lives of those who are going to survive matter more than the lives of those who are going to die. That is always the case. Now, we need to get ready for that. Start thinking about that. Because all lives don't matter. Some lives matter more than others. And those who are going to live, those lives matter more than those who are going to die. And you don't force one group to suffer at the expense of the other. So that's my thinking for this 26-degree morning. And I appreciate your comments. And if you haven't subscribed and you like this content, because there'll be more, please do that. Hit the bell icon and share to the degree that you feel you'd like some of your folks to hear this. So with that, as always, thanks for watching. Carry on.